Final Fantasy is a game that's been in my family since the early days of Atlantic Canadian Gamer. My dad would play these games when I was a kid, and I was just a little bit too young to really appreciate them. He had a couple of them, a couple on the NES, Super Nintendo, that sort of thing. I was more into the Mario, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I felt like punishing myself with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. If you remember that game, then you remember how tough that one was. But the memory of the game is ingrained in my head, especially the music. The music takes me back to a place that I wish that I could revisit every day. I remember this game, my dad spending long nights playing this game. And now I have played a few of them over my gaming years. One thing you need to know about me is that I was a Nintendo kid growing up. So after the Super Nintendo, my Final Fantasy exposure was pretty limited. Shout out to Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Flash forward to this year, I decided to finally dive into the Final Fantasy series, starting with the very first one. I received the PS4 version of the Final Fantasy Collection, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. All in one disc, which is pretty cool, actually. That's quite the compilation. And this was played on my PS5 Pro, which honestly, it could probably be running on a potato, but, it runs fine on the PS5 Pro, runs fine on the PS5 or the PS4. The original Final Fantasy was released in North America in July of 1990. It's an RPG game and a grindy one at that, guys. The game still holds up pretty good, in my opinion. It was intriguing, but it wasn't too difficult. Go and get the item that's going to get you to the next spot, and then once you get to the next spot, help out that person to get them that item that will bring you to the next spot type thing. It's a lot of rinse and repeats, really probably because of the limitations of the Nintendo Entertainment System back then. You're encouraged to talk to everyone in every city so you can get clues on where to go next. And there is no waypoint, there is no compass, there is no question mark on the map or anything like that. There's no guiding waypoint or anything to tell you where to go. And it's frankly refreshing. The game will make you work for the next clue, for the next area that you need to go to. For people who like that kind of stuff, I imagine this is right up their alley. There's not going to be very many clues or anything on where to go. And I have to imagine that it was insanely annoying back in 1990 when you were trying to figure out what to do in this game. Now, there is a woman in the game that they say can help you whenever you're stuck. However, she wasn't very much help for me, guys. Luckily, when she failed me, I turned to my good friend Google, and I'd be on my way once again. Only had to do that a couple times in this game, where, I was just completely lost, and I could have spent a good hour, 2 hours just going to every single town and talking to every single person until I figured it out. And I imagine that's just what people did back when they played this game on the original Nintendo. But I didn't have time for that, guys. So yeah, there was a couple times where I did have to enlist the help of Google, just get that quick hint, and then I'd be on my way once again. This game took me roughly 13 hours to beat, and that's all because of the quality of life improvements and features that honestly, thank God that they're in this game, because without them, it would be an absolute grind fest. I'd probably be here for another 10, 15 hours at least playing this game. The ability to multiply my experience and money was a welcome one. It meant I wasn't grinding for days. Fast walking when I wanted to was excellent, and the best feature of all was the ability to turn off encounters when I wanted to, when I just wanted to explore. I don't have anything against those things, but frankly, I don't want to spend the bulk of my game time just grinding my characters and constantly running into enemies every 4 seconds. This is something that I feel like Nintendo could do with the Pokemon games or something like that if they ever remastered them. That would be awesome to see some sort of Pokemon compilation disc like this one. I don't think Nintendo's going to do it anytime soon, though. And visually, the game looks pretty good. It had a nice aesthetic to it. Flying around the overworld looks good, and it's fun to explore. Audio-wise, it sounds excellent. The music is fantastic. It gets stuck in your head. Whoever came up with that, honestly, should be in the Video Game Hall of Fame if they're not already. Overall, Final Fantasy is a great RPG that was a staple for the NES, and any fan of the series should give it a try. It was very fun, and it captured my interest. It features a good story, and the exploring is pretty fun, guys. When you're not stuck and you kind of know where you got to go next, it is fun to get to that next step, Get from point A to point B, and then once you're at point B, get to point C. Alright guys, and now I'm on to Final Fantasy 2. Let's see what this game offers up for me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Stay tuned for my opinions on that one as well.